Astrology time, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and today is Friday. It is the 24th of April, and our moon is going to be in Leo all day long. You come here for astrology, and astrology is what we deliver. You come here and you can learn astrology if you show up here every day, right? Because we discuss things and we dive into the sacred language of astrology. So if you want to learn astrology, this is a great way to do it. You can get it in little daily doses right here at daily-astrocat.com. And today, we're going to have Venus entering Gemini at 12:03 in the morning. Now, let me tell you something about yesterday's energy, because yesterday we had that Cancer moon that was great for a whole bunch of different things, romance and all that stuff, right? I spent it outside. I did. I took the electrical energy that was going to be happening later on in the evening and just grounded it. I touched trees. I saw nature. I saw wildflowers. I felt the wind in my hair and watched trees dance rhythmically against a blue sky. We also walked some trails, saw turtles and tadpoles, and, look, I was able to do a bit of work in the morning, but my schedule was clear for the rest of the day, so I put it to good use, and, we actually bought some plants and stuff like that. It was great. Had a great day. So, look, Venus entering Gemini is kind of like a bullshit detector, okay? Social media has become a problem. The news media also just, what's going on, right? Look, AI is everywhere, and it's disheartening to see so much insincere content showing up, rehashing of old things that have been, redone and just done over and, posterized or something like that over years, right? And, the stuff that you've seen before is popping up. Also, it's just, the advertising is just everywhere. It's like, it seems like every other thing that's on a, For You page or something like that is some kind of ad, right? So, look, TikTok yesterday throttled the 2 videos that I put out, right? Barely broke 20 views on each one. Kind of weird, right? Now, that's a mistake, and especially with the moon in Leo, because, it just gets me to thinking. The moon's trine with all those planets in Aries. So now I'm in a mood to be like, okay, what else can I do? What else? How can I reach out to people beyond these platforms that are controlling everything, that are shoving advertising at us rather than decent content, and also sending violent and shoddy content our way that's AI generated or just staged skits and stuff like that. Not interesting at all, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from here. So with Venus in Gemini, this becomes really apparent because we're sorting it out. We're like, okay, this really isn't where creativity should be leading us down. This isn't the kind of content that we should be consuming or we should be producing even. We need to be doing something better and making it more cohesive and more relevant to what's going on. Like I said, going out and touching the trees and connecting with each other on a spiritual level, on a soul level, me to you, discussing astrology and discussing these things and discussing what it is that makes us uniquely human and, makes us feel even more human as we move forward together, right? So, look, the moon trine with all those planets in Aries, that's a creative conundrum. And Mars is going to work on solving that today. So we're going to just start thinking about that. What's next? Saturn and Mars will begin working together. So let the wind blow through your hair. Leo thing, right? And face it head on. The idea that forms is going to be your next seed. And today's keyword is determination. Whether you've made a determination or you are determined to move forward, okay? And the color is just orange. Let's just call it orange. Taurus season hates when things deviate from the norm. That's the season we're in, right? The sun's in Taurus. We are working, living, and honoring the earth and the season. What is being affected is technical. We need to come up with workarounds to stay ahead of glitches or to cleverly stall until these things are rectified. Had that happen yesterday. All right, work-related, 3D work-related, right? I see tons of content talking about how messed up Uranus and Taurus is making the lives of people with planets in Taurus or in the fixed signs for that matter. But you know what? It was 7 years of that, so it's not a big deal. You've been going through it, right? Look, Uranus is a transpersonal planet. So think about it. Uranus changes signs every 7 years. So, 7 years, that kind of rings a bell, right? The 7-year itch, of course, right? Or oddly enough, that common myth that it's kind of true, kind of not, that the on average, the age of a cell in your body is about 7 years old. So, these are very interesting things, that number 7, right? And also where Uranus is concerned and what Uranus is having us, focus on, right? Uranus is a planet of sudden change, rebellion, inventiveness, electricity, originality, progress, and technology. Uranus's sojourn in Taurus was weird, okay? And I'm not going to deny that. It seemed like the Taurus things worked better when Uranus was retrograde because it wasn't quite so intent on messing things up. It was the anti-mess up, right? That retrograde thing. And, it just that sudden change and everything like that. If you just tracked, like say, for example, like cryptocurrencies or something like that over the 7 years, right? And it tracked very oddly with the Uranus retrogrades and stuff like that, because Taurus is a financial house, right? So if you had finances that were in there, then that was affecting you. So, look, Taurus, look, Venus in Gemini is going to calm Mercury down, okay? Because once you have a planet that's, the ruler of Mercury, of Gemini, what you'll find is that that has a little bit of bearing on the ruling planet as well. So, the ruling planet rules Gemini, Mercury is in Aries, ruling Gemini, but Venus in Gemini, that's going to be something, right? Because now Mercury is really picking up speed. And what happens is that Mercury is going to be going at a rapid clip. So, it's a wicked fast clip, actually, as we say around here. Our minds will be able to take in much more and in a greater detail than we may have previously been noticing, especially when we had Mercury in Pisces, right? That was a very watery place. And we were just getting, like light impressions and it's kind of like looking through a foggy window or something like that. Now it's crystal clear and sharp. Value will be placed on communicating beautifully, all right? So the moon in Leo wants it to be showtime, but Venus and Uranus were making that transition very sticky. Now that Venus has entered Gemini, words are going to take center stage. That awkward AI voiceovers are just that, awkward, right? People borrowing other people's content is a different story. While it isn't original to do that, the lack of backing knowledge shows off. It's clear when the show is forced off script, right? Look, I've been doing this for 8 years, and a lack of engagement, shares, and likes, and saving for later, this may force me to concentrate on other ways of growing my base listenership. So let's just see what the weekend what the weekend brings. So finally, our thoughts are rapidly going over scenarios in our heads. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? While you are doing this, Uranus is getting ready to change signs tomorrow. So he will no longer be returning to Taurus. And don't worry, okay? Don't let anybody scare you and say that, Uranus and Gemini is going to be... We've already been here, okay? We did this last year. We did it. It started on July 7th of last year. Reflect on this tonight, because I'm going to have a lot more to say about this tomorrow. But where did this take you? This is what they call an emerging story. So, in 1801, the first performance of Joseph Haydn's oratorio, Die Jahreszeiten, was performed. And that translates to the seasons. Taurus season, right? And in 1766, Robert Bailey Thomas, he's an American journalist and the founder of the Old Farmer's Almanac, right? Okay, he's born in Grafton, Massachusetts, and he died in 1846, and that is all I have for you. So, shall we recap? I appreciate and love every single one of you. Thank you so much. Everybody's been shy lately. Everybody's not been around. So please... comment, that way I know you're listening. That way I know you're there, right? So, comment. The color is orange, and the keyword is determination. I will make a determination. Yeah, or maybe you're determined to make it through. Whatever it is, I hope you have a nice day. Seriously, today is a 6. Happy astrocatting.